And finally, we arrive at what is the Appian Way Park in Rome, which is what everyone knows as the most monumental road, let's say, and the most paved, let's call it that. For example, I bring you this photo where you can see that there are three types of pavements. Some are rhomboid cobblestones, some are pavements which should be Roman, right? Those pavements are just a small section of 10 to 15 meters, nothing more. Then asphalt. That asphalt, what is it on? Are there more slabs underneath? Let's take a look. Consider that monument, which I'm indicating, and you should see on the left, is the same as this monument that you see here on the right. You see again a cobblestone in a rhomboid shape, which I already anticipate to you is from the 20th century. At the end, as you can see, there is still the section of cobblestone, and again the asphalt. Well then, in the same place, that is from the same point of view from which this current photo is taken, was this other one taken. This is what was originally there, limestone gravel, which is what is being seen there, a limestone cobblestone, more typical of a road than any slab. And look, at the end there are 10 meters of paving. There, at the end, where I'm indicating, we see the previous one, and we see this one. They are both in the same place. Sometime in the 19th century, someone had laid 10 meters of pavement like the ones I have shown you before, etc. And here you see yet another long section with these cobblestones, which are clearly from the 20th century. Because if in the 19th century they did not have them, then they were put only very recently, so as to make more attractive the archaeological park of the Appian Way, which is what you all like to visit, where you can see the tomb of Cecilia Metella. Behold it. As in the 18th century drawing above, there is clearly no slab. Drawn in detail are all the stones of the tomb, but on the road there is no slab to be seen. But they are below, in another later drawing, perhaps from the 19th century, the slabs are clearly seen. The slabs have been laid, or what happened there? How is it that they didn't have them before? And then they are. Here again you see a drawing of the tomb of Cecilia Metella. In it you'll see the path with slabs. Curious, isn't it? This drawing is from the year 1900, as was dated from where I have obtained it, and here's another drawing of the same place. Exactly the same place, dated in 1840, by a certain Peña Agostino. Then again, with slabs in 1900, and no slabs in 1840, in a tremendously detailed drawing. Ouch! With the ashlars, the shading, every detail, even the curb. But there are no slabs. How could it be possible that the slabs of the Appian Way are going to be more modern than we are all assuming? Really? I don't want to guarantee anything, because afterwards I'll be attacked from all sides. Oh, that he said that. This isn't Roman, nor are the others. Viewers, behold, I am bringing you objective data. Make up your own opinions yourselves. Next, a drawing from 1754 by Piranesi, a man who drew in detail absolutely everything. Theoretically, the Appian Way is somewhere in the middle. Behold, ruins, as many as you may want, but slabs, they are none to be seen. Very well now. Here you can see a photo, which is part of a stereoscopic pair, which was how it was done at that time, around the year 1900, with a car circulating, because the Appian Way has always been circulated, even in the 20th century. With the car driving on the Appian Way, there are no slabs in place. As you can see, in exactly the same place, we have a photo from before 1875. The pine trees are the same, only they were smaller than at that time, and there are still no slabs. Here is a photo from 1885 taken from another point of view on which the Appian Way has no slabs here. And yet another photo from 1885. Not only there are no surface slabs, but because of the way in which the cars are marking the terrain, at one point it's probably rained and it's wet, we see that there are no slabs under the ground. Evidently, their wheels wouldn't sink that way, if there were any slabs. And here you have a small section from 1875, one of the first photos that were taken of the Appian Way, where there is a long length of it. It is without slabs, as befits a Roman road. Let's proclaim it now at this point in the chapter. And a short section here, in front of this man, that has slabs. Who placed them there? And why? If you are still skeptical, you could say, they continue below the frame of the photograph. Well, not really. Here's a photo of the exact same site from 1890, a few years later, with some children sitting there. And now you can see the short section of the 10 or 15 meters of slab. Who, and at what time, has dedicated himself to putting these pieces of slabs on the Appian Way? In general, they are there, just to spruce it up. Are we talking about the 16th century? No, we are talking of about the 18th century, when it was injected into the heads of the people that the Roman roads must have slabs, from another part of the Appian Way. Here's yet another similar section. Nowhere on the Appian Way are slabs, except for the small stretches that are at 10 meters apart or so, meant to keep people from getting lost. And so, when you are making your way on it, you could say, indeed we are still on the Appian Way, because here is yet another section of slabs at 10 meters. Okay then. Here, in several photographs, you can see another aspect of the same place, where in none of them you are going to see any slabs. The ruins are as they were, and the Appian Way has been swamped at some point. Well, to support and prevent the dirt from ending up invading the pavement. Probably not even that curb is original Roman, but what is clear is that the pavement of the Appian Way did not have any slabs, and we are practically in Rome. Here you have another photo of the same place, already with carabinieris. It is a photo from 1875. We are in very early times. Another one, and yet another one. The latter two are very old. They are both from 1870. And what do you think of this drawing from 1833? There was no photography then, and that's why it is a drawing. But very detailed, isn't it? Very detailed indeed. In the background are the areas volcanoes of the Albano and Castel Gandolfo. Against that background, you even see the tomb of Cecilia Metella. In it, you have a cart with oxen. And it seems that even the road in the back is fenced, meaning that at that time, the passage was interrupted. And here in front, you'll only have a short section with slabs. Here, all what you see sets the appearance of what a Roman road should look like. And here you have another area, which we've been already seeing somewhat in the previous photos, where there's some slabs here at the beginning, then the rest does not have it anymore. Here then, as you can see, is how a cattle pack transits a fenced Appian Way. Of course, as there were walls everywhere in place to keep the farms and crops fenced away from the cattle pack, as has happened in all the ravines in Spain and throughout the Mediterranean, which was the typical method to defend the crops from cattle that regularly traveled on roads with such walls. And you see how those cows have been raising dust. That means they're marching along a path of limestone gravels. And yet here are a few sections with slabs. And indeed, these carts from the last centuries, 18th century, 19th century, are the ones that have left the tracks on those slabs. Perhaps because the slabs were not there before, and certainly never were. But in any case, because carts are capable, in just a few decades and certainly a few years, of causing such damage to slabs that any road may have. Look at the grooved slabs of the Appian Way. These are the slabs of the Appian Way themselves. How damaged they are. But they are damaged by the chariots I have just shown you, not by those of the Romans who probably never circulated in this area on these slabs. Here you have yet another fantastic drawing with another cart, 0 slabs. Here we're practically at the gates of Rome, and there are still no slabs on the ground. If the slabs were buried there, under that layer of gravels, it means that someone has probably removed them, right? We would be talking about the slabs being the foundation of the road, and not the roading layer. But I can't be sure that they are down there, because you can't see them, and I don't know of any study of what was there at this time under that dirt area of the Appian Way. This here is a very intriguing drawing, and I bring it to your attention so that you can appreciate how it was drawn at the end of the 18th century. By then it was assumed that the Appian Way was completely destroyed, including the funerary monuments, etc. And on the pavement there were no slabs, and shown is how it should be restored, with its monuments reconstructed and with slabs. I mean, that already by the end of the Renaissance. The image of roads with paving was already so ingrained in the minds of scholars that they could not conceive of a Roman road without slabs. When, in reality, no Roman road in any part of the empire, neither in France nor in Spain, nor in the rest of Italy, nor in Turkey, nor anywhere, had slabs on the surface, with the exception of street crossings in the cities, and sections meant for urban access, sometimes very short, or when leaving the city, while distances of the cemeteries more or less lasted. More photos of the Appian Way where you won't see slabs. And then slabs are now visible, but were not seen a century before. And here you have one last one that I am going to show you about the Appian Way, where you can see all the stuff. Guess what era it is? There, a small section with slabs, 10 to 12 meters, just right in front of that very old car. It is a photograph from the 1900s or thereabouts, and the rest of the roadway has no slabs. This is a view of the Appian Way as is seen today. Hardly any originals are preserved. The curbs, barely. The rest are all modern cobblestones from the 20th century. And this is what everyone seems to expect the Appian Way to be still today, and likewise so should any of other Roman roads. In fact, this is what's on the internet. That's where I got it from. People on horseback, not even with carts, because the poor weren't assumed to have carts, you know, they were J. Breaking the hooves of the horses, since horseshoes were not used. The horseshoe began to be used by the middle of medieval times, in the 11th and 12th centuries. This is precisely what archaeology attests. And of course, a legionnaire. It seems that 100% of the population had to be a legionary in Roman times. And well, here you see a paved road, which is probably original, because I don't know anymore, it's not the Appian Way. It's in Italy. It is the exit from a city, the city of Sessa Aronca. But where is it? It's just an exit from Sessa Aranca. There you see a mausoleum, a tomb. Sessa Aranca is at the end. There, where you see the first house, and this is the way, just outside the city. Are these slabs original? Are they from Roman times? Well, look, they don't have chariots where, so I'm starting to doubt everything. Because in 2,000 years not a single cart has passed through there. That's how it ends, because it ends. I examined the whole pathway. At 200 meters from the village, it just ends. There you see the basaltic slabs. Below them there are no good foundations. Rather, it's just dirt and that's all. Because next, what you get to see is this. A road where a Roman road went more or less through and has been eaten by vegetation, narrowed and eroded. And because no vehicles have circulated on it for many decades. And of course, not only because of this. What we have seen before does not have a single cart ride. Wherefore, when I see this, I question how these slabs are going to be here for 2,000 years, and where were the cars going? Flying? They would have to step somewhere. All of Pompeii is full of chariot tracks, some very deep ones, that also mark a width of 140 meters. This measurement is the typical distance between wheels, which I found in other Roman cities, where it occurred to me, a few years ago, to measure the width between grooves. In any case, where it does have some chariot tracking wear is Pompeii, and it is from outside the city walls, and those are already funerary monuments. But this feature lasts only for 200 meters. After 200 meters, the slabs are finished. In Roman times, a road on which vehicles are supposed to have traveled have no traces of slabs. The evolution of the road surface is something that's not easy for the layman to read. Over time, the roads suffer a lot. Because of the water, because of the traffic, and because of the transit. They must be maintained constantly. In ancient times, now, and always. What we are seeing is the last thing that was put onto and fixed on the road in question. And sometimes it is clearly Roman, because it cannot be from another era. And sometimes it is from any era that we do not know, or it is even documented as very recent. Well, that's it, friends. I hope I have not confused you too much with this dissertation on the paving of the antiquity roads. I hope I have not bothered anyone because evidently on this, like many other things I deal with, there are rivers of ink that speak a lot, even doctoral theses too, about Roman roads. I don't know what, I don't know how much. Of the roads, of the paving stones, of the lastricati in Italy, of the cobblestones from here and there. But it is a much more complicated discipline than it might seem true at first. Well, in short, I hope you liked it, and until next time.